Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Jacoby. So in today's video, I'm going to give you part 4 of the volleyball dictionary. I'll have the playlist of the series linked up in the card somewhere and in the description. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, follow me on TikTok at jacoby.sims, like this video and leave a comment down below. It really helps me out. And without further ado, let's start with the letter K. So I have all the notes on my phone here. So the first word is key player. So a key player is like someone that a coach of the opposing team will make a scouting report on. And what a scouting report is basically like, it's like a game plan before you go into a match. You know who their key player is, aka their best player. You know their keys to success. So are they really good at serve receive? Are they really good at hitting? Are they a great blocking team? That's something that the coach would know, and they would also know who their key player is. So that's like the idea notion of a key player. Next word is kill, and that is just when the ball lands on the other side of the court besides when someone is serving. So when someone is serving and it hits clean with no one touching it, or it's shanked off of a person, that's an ace. But when you get a kill, say I'm going up to attack the ball, I'm hitting on the net, and I get a clean kill and it just hits the ground and scores, that's a kill. Or another way I can kill, if I hit it off the block and it goes out of bounds, that's a kill. Or if I hit it at a person and they shank it out of bounds, that's a kill. So basically just like an attacking point. Okay, that's it for K words. That was really quick. Okay, now we're gonna move on to L's, aka what I take every day. Okay, so first word is libero. A libero is a defensive specialist, but they are specialized for the back row only, so they cannot play front row. As in an actual DS, they can play all the way around if they so choose to, but a libero is designated to the back row. Typically, the libero is the best passer, defender, ball control player on the team. So they always wear a different color jersey when they're playing, because that signals to the scoring people, the reffing people, that there's a libero and that they have to come out at a certain time and come back in, and they can't go front row. All those little rules. Some rules the libero has, like off the top of my head, I know that they can't like attack above the plane of the net. So say like you want to do like a back row attack, your libero, if they jump really high, they can't attack and jump because they'll cross the plane of the net, and then they'll be technically like a attacker, which they're not allowed to be. And they also cannot set in front of the 10-foot line with their hands. That also counts as a attack. So it's just weird things like that. I honestly don't even understand that, but it's the rules. Next word is lift. So a lift is a violation when someone gets the ball and they literally almost catch it. That's a lift. Or say that you like are setting and someone really gets really low and kind of holds the ball too long and they set the ball, that's a lift. You are going to tip and someone holds the ball too long and they tip down, that's a lift. So the common trend I just said is holding the ball too long. That's a lift. Like in volleyball, the ball is just supposed to touch you and come up. It's not supposed to hold on you and then go. So that's a lift. Next word is the line serve, aka literally the hardest serve to pass ever, because I literally hate passing this ball. It's so hard. Basically, a line serve is when someone is right in front of you, like I am in front of this camera. Now I am. Say I was serving across the net from you, I'm serving straight at you down the line, and I'm also on the line. And I'm serving straight down the line. First of all, that's a very hard serve to execute, because obviously you have this amount of room to miss, barely, so it's really hard to nail. But if you can nail it, you will ace a lot of people, because a lot of people don't like having to judge whether it's in or out. They have to think about that, and then they have to think about getting a good pass, and then they have to think about not getting aced, and then it's just all mental. So serving down the line is really hard, but a really beneficial skill if you know how to do it. Like one of my high school teammates, she only served down the line all the time, and I was like, how did you do that? How do you do that? But she got aces like all the freaking time. And she went D1. Oh, go figure. Next word is a line shot. So that's just when you are hitting down the line once again. So say you're on the outside, you can hit down the line. Right side, you can hit down the line. Now, if you're hitting out of the middle, there is no line for you to hit down because you're not on the sideline, you're in the middle. So you can hit left or right. There's not necessarily a line or a cross for a middle, technically. Okay, so the next word is lines, and those are just like the boundary lines that make up the court, like the out of bounds lines, whatever you want to call them. Next word is linesman or lineswoman, whatever. So those are the referee people that are on the corner of the sideline. So let's say there's a bench here, there's going to be a ref here. Across from them diagonally is going to be the other lines person, okay? So the lines person's responsibilities, they'll have a little flag, typically. If they don't, you can always use your hand signals. So let's go over the hand signals. And remember, this is if you don't have a flag or you're not given a flag by the roughing crew. So if you're going to call the ball out, so that's your first responsibility, is to look for in, out, touch, foot fault, and antenna fault. But there's, you know, let's stick with the basics first. So if you're going to call out, you are watching the end line, the ball travels out, no one touches it. This is your signal. Out. Now, say that that ball is traveling out, but someone touches it and then it lands. That's your hand signal. Touch. Now, if the ball lands inside the boundary line, your signal is like this. And I'm sitting down, that's why it's hard for me to do, but you're just pointing down to the ground like this. Now, if someone hits the antenna, say there's an outside hitter going up and they hit the ball, but it hits the antenna, that is a violation. That means it's out. So you would go like this. With your fake flag, you'll wave it and you'll point at the antenna. Same thing for a foot fault. If they're serving and they cross the boundary line, which is an infraction, you point at the boundary line or the out of bounds line in the very back, the end line as I would like to call it, and you wave your flag. Now, if you have a flag, the out, in, and touch symbols are a little bit easier because you can just go like this with your flag for out, this for in, and touch. Okay, next word is a lineup. So a lineup is just what a coach does like when they go to start the match. So they're given like a slip of paper and they have to fill out the numbers of the people that they're gonna start and in what position. So you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have to fill out the numbers where you want your players to start, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to designate a captain, who your libero is, if you have a libero, all that jazz, and then you have to sign it and give it to the scoring table. Next word is load. So loading means that when you're blocking, you don't just want to be like, you know, chilling, like standing up, just like, oh, let's block. Like, no, you want to be loaded. So that means that your knees are bent, you're in an athletic position, and you're watching the ball, setter, ball. It's called eye sequencing. I think I've been over that. Maybe not. And then you want to go and block. You don't want to ever just be like, you know, have your legs locked out or just like standing there, because that's not beneficial to anyone. Okay, now letter M. First word is match. That's another word for game. So usually matches are best 2 out of 3 sets, or they're best 3 out of 5 sets. Next word is middle back. This is a defensive position that resides in zone 6, which is in the middle back of the court. And I will put a diagram up, hopefully somewhere. This position, usually like someone who is a DS plays this position, because usually liberos will play left back, but sometimes coaches do like their liberos in middle back. The middle back has responsibility of basically like digging the cross ball, like the deep balls, and running down the deep tips. That's usually their responsibility. Also, sometimes coaches will have their outside hitters who have rotated to the back row. They have them play middle back. That way they have a back row attack out of the middle, which is called a pipe, or a bic if you want to run it quicker. Next word is middle blocker. My position. I don't know why I'm acting like I like to play middle, because I didn't. That's awkward. But basically a middle blocker is the person who closes the block pin to pin. So you go left, you go right, and then you get set. Maybe it's very tiring. So usually people who have like a high motor and just like have a just go, that's usually who will play middle. I don't know why I played middle. Next letter is N. So the one and only word that I have for N is net height. It's so important to know the net heights just to see how they differ, to know, and also to know if the net is the right height when you're playing on it, because you want to make sure, you know, it's like not too high, not too low. So yeah, women's net is 7 feet and 4 1/8 inch high, and a men's net is 7 feet 11 inch 5/8 inches high. So I mean, obviously there is like what, 6 inches difference about. So usually men are taller, women are shorter, blah, 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 whatever. It's not always true, but it is definitely like true that men do have more explosiveness and they have more like just like muscles. But if you watch the men's game, they're like super aggressive. Everything is just a power play. There's rarely finesse. But in the women's game, it's all about ball control and finesse, because there's not as much like people just banging the ball, you know? So that's why the nets are different heights. There's also other good reasons. That was just my reason. Next letter is O. So first word is off blocker. This is something I'm not very good at. So basically when the 2 people are going to block and you're the opposite hitter, you become the off blocker, aka you're like taking the blocking assignment off, like you're not blocking. So that means you have to play defense, and that's something I rarely did. So Next word is off-speed shots. That basically just means that you're just putting less pace on a ball, or you're kind of hitting like a change-up shot where you're just not putting all your strength in it. You're just kind of putting less pace on it, and it's an off-speed shot and it might fall. An off-speed shot is like a tip or like a roll shot or like a deep tip, whatever. Okay, so the next word is offense, and that is just like basically like play strategy that a coach has, or a player, or a setter, or whatever, just to run the offense smoothly, to get the ball to the correct hitter at the right time, and just kind of flowing everything. And the next word that goes with that is offensive plays. So setters or coaches can like collaborate and make plays and have a certain thing happen when a certain scenario happens. So for example, on my team, if we got a free ball from the other team, we would run like an X pattern, or we would call the play X. So say that like I'm on the right side and there's a middle blocker. We would X, and I would go in from this angle for a 2 ball in the middle, and she would go behind the setter for a slide. That's like a double X play. Okay, so next word is offensive system, and this is just what a coach can choose and how to run their offense. The most typical ones are a 5-1, which is 5 hitters, 1 setter, where the setter plays front row and back row, and they play all the way around. Or you can run a 6-2, where you have 2 setters and they're both playing in the back row for their 3 rotation setting. And either you can have them go to the front, one of them can go to the front row and hit, or you sub them both out for like a pin hitter or right side hitter. Okay, next word is opposite. So an opposite is another word for a right side hitter. This person plays on the right side of the court in the right front position, or zone 2. That is their base. They are responsible for blocking the outside hitter on the other team, and typically the outside hitter is usually like one of the best hitters, and they usually get a lot of sets. So it's important to have a really good right side blocker. Also, sometimes a setter can hit front row and they can play that right front position as well. Next word is outside hitter. So an outside hitter is also what I don't know. I put opposite outside hitter and middle blocker, so yeah. But an outside hitter is basically just like they can be a 6 rotation player where they play front row and back row. Typically this person is pretty good at ball control, or they're just like the best hitter, or they have really good hops and they can hit a lot of different shots, and they can hit smart shots, and they can carry the load of like the offense basically, because the outside hitter will always get all like the junk balls, all the out of system sets usually, so they have to be pretty strong in scoring like out of system, or scoring in like kind of inopportune times, if that makes sense. Last word is overlap. So this is a violation when like maybe the other team is about to serve, and say that I'm in a middle front and my teammate is in the left front, and we're stacked over here to the left on the left side of the court. If I cross her on the left of her, we're out of rotation. That's an overlap. I hope that made sense, because it barely makes sense to me still, but honestly, like I just know where to go now because it's pretty much the same universally. But that's it for today's video, you guys. I really hope you liked it. Please let me know what you want to see from me in the comments, because I really have no clue anymore. Like I really don't know. But make sure you also check out my vlog channel. I love the vlog, so it's Jacoby Sims Vlogs. Follow me on the TikTok at jacoby.sims, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.